Now the X-T2 is the latest version in Fuji's X-T series. We got the X-T1 back in 2014 early on, and now in 2016 we have this latest model. Now from a first glance you may be forgiven for thinking it looks almost identical to the X-T1, but once you get it in your hand you can really feel that it's a completely different camera. The first major difference with the X-T2 is the 24.3 megapixel X-Trans sensor, which is backed up by the new X-Professional processor. This gives increased response time and a much more sensitive ISO range, going up to 12,800. Now thanks to this increased power from the processor, you can now get 11 frames per second, and this is expandable to 14 frames per second if you're using the electronic shutter. You can also choose between 3, 4 or 5 frames per second on the continuous low setting, depending on your subject. This is backed up by 325 selectable AF points and a fully customizable autofocus continuous system. Now the X-T series has always been about speed, and this camera is no exception. With an 8,000th of a second maximum shutter speed on a focal plane shutter, this camera is also registered for 150,000 shutter rotations. Now, the X-T2 is no exception to Fuji's external control design. Straight away you can see that you have maintained the ISO and shutter speed dials on the top, as well as your exposure compensation dial at the side. What's really nice about these is they're now free floating, so they go completely all around. And once you lock into a setting that you want, you can press the center button down and it actually locks your chosen settings into place. You'll also notice a new control on your exposure compensation dial. If you move this round to C, you actually have electronic control and can go to plus or minus 5 on your exposure stops. On the back here, we have the tilting screen, and it still has the same range of motion in that respect to the X-T1. But you also have a little switch just on the side here, and you can actually tilt it out to 45 degrees, allowing you a greater degree of motion when checking your angles. The EVF has also had a fantastic upgrade. It now shows at 100 frames per second on the refresh rate, so you'll never miss a shot. Now, talking about the memory card slots, now you have a nice addition of a catch to get in, and it's actually dual cards, and this can accept UHS Speed Class Generation 2 cards, which are fantastically fast cards. One final point on the bodywork of this camera is that it now features 63 points of weather sealing, meaning you can take this camera anywhere in any condition. So we've covered some absolutely fantastic features on this X-T2, but there is one feature that stands out. It is a first for the X series, and that is 4K video capability. This camera will film in 4K resolution at 30 frames per second, and that makes this a fantastic feature to the X series. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe below. Now, if you'd like any more information on the Fujifilm X-T2, you can visit any one of our 52 stores or go online to jessops.com for more information on how to pre-order.